Do we have any amendments or changes to the agenda? Okay. Then we'll start with the first order of business is the public hearing for ordinance appropriating the proceeds of the general obligation bonds of 2026. We will now open the public hearing. Do we have any comments, questions, or concerns? All right, hearing none, we will close the public hearing. The next is the ordinance number 2026-05-19-1, an ordinance of Putnam County, Indiana, appropriating the proceeds of the general obligation bonds of 2026. This is for the county annex building, together with all necessary appurtenances and related improvements project, and the incidental expenses in connection therewith, and on account of the issuance of the general obligation bonds of 2026. This is for not to exceed $14,500,000. Do we have any questions, concerns? Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
Jay made the motion for approval. Do I have a second?
Second.
Brian, second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. We will sign this at the end. All right. We will skip the sheriff's department at the moment. I know they are not all here yet, so we'll move on to our regular business. The first thing on our agenda is the reduction of budgets. Reduction county general security budget, the prorated amount needed in the sheriff's lit fund for the courthouse security. Since this is all appropriated in the lit, it can do a budget reduction and zero out the accounts that were appropriated in the county general fund. This is clearing up and cleaning up the changes that we've done with the security for the courthouse here. The first one is for $77,783 for the part-time, $1,950 for the uniform, and $2,500 for the equipment. Do we have any questions or concerns? All right, do I have a motion for approval? Danny made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Wayne second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Then next is the commissioners. Hi, Andy. Balance left from the 2026 edit plan approved. It's the edit war chest fund for $16,303 for the road and maintenance. Is there anything that Robin or Andy you would like to add to this? Do you guys have any questions? This was what was left over, that extra money from the edit stuff. Okay, no questions. Do I have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
Wayne made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Carrie second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next, we have the Cume Bridge Fund. This is for $185,000 for Bridge 45. This request will leave a balance of $2,037,455 adjusted surplus. Would either one of you like to? I know what Bridge 45 is. Would either one of you like to explain to
Bridge
the board?
45 is on the county line 900 East. This bridge is closed, and this is for the permits and the design work. And then it will be bid out for construction.
Do we have any questions? Do we have a motion for approval?
I'll make the motion.
All right, Wayne made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Jay second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much. The next we have Cume Capital Development Fund, repairs needed at the courthouse. The tuck pointing, as you can see that they're doing outside right now, to fix the chillers, because half of the chillers broke, which is for $115,000 out of the repairs and maintenance. Do we have questions?
We already did, what, 45,000 or something? Or was that just the bid that we were looking at?
That was just the bid that we were looking at. We gave the tentative so they could go ahead and move forward with it. So this is the actual additional itself. Do you have anything else? Anything you want to add?
No.
You always talk. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Danny made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Carrie second.
It'll probably come back again a little bit more. After they found the big crack up there.
I heard that.
It's leaving water into the storehouse.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The next is the new annex fund, appropriating the funds to have them available to pay for outside contracts, invoices the county has approved for the project. This is just an appropriate amount. We do not have 500,000 invoices submitted at this time. We are just getting things ready. That way we can pay things in a timely manner. It's for 500,000 out of the professional contract lease. So it's out of the new annex fund itself. Do we have any questions? Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Carrie made the motion. I have a second.
Second.
Jay second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. 911. We'll let you come up top.
So last meeting, you guys wanted more numbers. I got, original contract on the towers was $1.4 million, of which $460,000 was made available to me to pay bills that as they came in. So that's $940,000 left on the original contract. Of that original $460,000, I have spent $144,000 to MPX for rebar and construction materials, and the Evapar for the 2 generators for the 2 sites. I think the Evapar one was right at about a little over 46,000. So that brings the original 460,000 down to about $315,860. The bills that are still pending are 2 for the J&K radio equipment for the 2 towers. One bill is $123,826, and the other is $375,971 for the radio equipment, for a total of just under $5,499,798 in pending bills. I still have $315,000 original available to me, and so I would only need about $183,938 to cover the radio equipment. So that should leave about $756,000 left for the rest of the construction.
So the additional that was tabled from the last meeting was for $400,000, and now you're only saying that you need?
I'm asking for 400, so when the rest of those construction bills come in, it's there and waiting, so that we don't have to go through this. I can just go ahead and pay them.
But I think our question was, what's been the holdup?
The holdup?
That's what.
So right now, it is in the real estate department at the state level for the property down on the state highway. It's been in their office for about 6 to 8 months. Terry has been hounding them on a weekly basis to get it through, and they've had to email the state 2 to 3 times about a description of the property that we want, which is a 40-foot by 40-foot square on the northeast part of the property.
I'm not real thrilled about paying this money without it being done.
Not since it was supposed to have been done last October, I believe. Commissioner, this is your project.
I talked to Terry last night, and anyway, he said too, the problem, the guy they hired and made the bid to build the towers, it was supposed to be where they could build them all at the same time, and they wouldn't have to move in and move out. Right now, they could build the one at Bainbridge, get it done, get it completed, but the contractor that was hired, he says his bid was to do them both at the same time, and he doesn't want to move in and build one, then move away and have to wait on the state to get their whatever they're doing. So, the holdup is the state of the down there. And I asked him last night, well, let's just find a different site. He said, no, this is the perfect site. Well, it ain't too perfect to me. But the radio, all the radio equipment is in full play.
Yeah, it's just sitting there waiting.
It's been sitting there waiting. So, the radio equipment, everything's available except
The property.
the property.
Thoughts? Board? Your questions?
And I agree too. I don't want to pay them any more money than we have to until second place started.
And we don't have any kind of time frame as far as how long it's going to take with the state? Do we have
No,
anybody that we can contact up there to get this moving along?
I don't know, do they have I don't know, but do they have a real estate department that?
They do, and that's where that's the holdup, is the real estate department.
My opinion, they need to get a move on it or not get their money. I'm comfortable giving them the money and not, what if it falls through, what if they deny it? Now, there's a lot of questions there to put that much money just out there. Not trying to be
Yes, sir.
the bad guy,
From the
but
peanut gallery. Did anybody reach out to Senator Clark or Representative Baird to move this along?
Not yet, but,
Do you have a plan to?
I know Rick was wanting to talk, was gonna talk to some of the state people.
Who's
I think
Rick?
coming up. Rick Woodall,
Oh, I see.
yeah.
I was like, sure, I hadn't heard of it.
So do you want to wait and hear what we get more feedback? Do we want to approve it so that when they get the go-ahead, it's already ready? Since we only meet once a month, that's up to you guys.
I mean, we've got outstanding bills.
Correct.
Right? So if we don't pay those, I mean, are they gonna, how long are they gonna let that equipment sit there before they
Good question.
do something else with it?
Yeah,
Like,
I
it's
know.
not their fault that the state's not giving us access to the property.
Do they have equipment sitting there?
In Fort Wayne.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
everything's ready to go except for the property in Cloverdale, in the state, on the state highway garage property. I mean, construction equipment, radio equipment, everything is sitting and waiting.
okay, my question is,
Yeah, generators are sitting out in our lean-to right now, so.
my question is, I don't have a problem paying it since we got the stuff there. My problem is what's gonna happen if the state denies this, then what are we doing with the equipment? Where are we going?
Well, I think, this was all done before my time, but I think we need to, try to get the contractor to start doing the one at Bainbridge, at least get it up and going. I mean, I agree with you, it was all supposed to be done last year in October, complete, ready to go. Or we find somebody else in Cloverdale to give us the ground.
Have to be high ground. Have to be high ground.
Is there a second spot picked out? Is there
No.
There is not.
The original plans was always for Cloverdale State Highway, because everybody at the state highway was excited about it.
Okay.
And then it hit the real estate department, and
So what exactly is their holdup with it at the real estate department?
I have no idea. I've asked, and I don't think even Terry knows. He said something about somebody that was in charge of it, was working on it, and then they left, and then it got handed to somebody else. To start all over again.
Big deal.
I would definitely say we would need to talk to our
I'll-
representatives.
I'll get over to Brett and I will get over to
Yeah, we need to talk to them, and maybe we need to even contact NDOT or the state. Maybe the NDOT people can get it pushed along. They have more connections.
Back to this, I mean, if we ordered equipment and it came in,
That's what I was gonna say.
I
Why
think we're
can't we pay for the
obligated to
radio?
We probably need to pay for
Pay for the
that.
radios and stuff
Yeah.
that we got.
And I'm okay with just the amount to pay for the radio equipment. So, I'm perfectly okay with that.
So what is,
Good with that.
what's the will of the board? You guys have questions?
I say just pay for the equipment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So the,
what, almost 184,000.
Yeah, $183,938.15 is what I would need to pay for the radio equipment.
yes, do you have a motion for, what do you guys want it to be for that exact amount?
Is there other equipment that's in that needs paid for?
Right now, no.
Okay.
There will probably be more rebar and other construction equipment down the road. Our towers are sitting in sections. I don't believe the fencing has been paid for yet. Cement's been paid for, so,
Does the construction people understand that we're waiting on?
yes,
Okay.
yeah.
What's their temperature? I mean, are they about ready to walk away or are they? Okay?
I don't know, that's Terry's job.
Okay.
to talk to them.
And I thought Terry was gonna have more answers, so why is Terry not here helping answer these questions?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll ask him myself.
Sounds good. I was supposed to have a phone call with him today, and didn't.
Yeah, you were supposed to send us all an email today too, but never were able to receive it.
Yep.
And you were supposed to be able to approve it.
Mhm.
I believe I have a meeting with him coming up, so I'll be asking him. So what, is the will of the board?
I'd say we pay for the equipment because it's here.
Mhm.
I don't want to give any more money until we got more clarification.
So is that a
Yep.
motion to pay for the $183,938.15?
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion by Danny, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Wayne? Any comments, more questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you for getting us more answers.
No problem.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and, I know you're still waiting on Jake, so. Oh, that's fine. We'll go ahead and approve our minutes from the April 21st meeting. Do we have any changes or corrections that need to be done? No? All right, do I have a motion for approval?
I'll move to approve it.
All right, Jay made the motion. Carrie second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. All right, Sheriff's Department, would you like to go ahead?
All right.
Thank you for your time tonight. This is the first time we've talked about cars this year, isn't it? An additional or anything to do with it. Been in front of the county commissioners twice, and then it's been a big topic, but I think it's the first time we've brought it in front of the money, so, and kind of have an idea. I want to go big picture. In our agency, when we came on board, we've been doing the same thing that the previous agency did, which was we buy cars with loans, car loans from the bank. We buy about 3 a year, and we work them into rotation. With additional, we haven't added a lot to the budget every year, probably to catch up with some of the things that have been going on. So I want to give you the whole story, which is our cars, vehicles, police vehicles, the cost of them kind of skyrocketed in the last 3 years, and then we've really been caught off guard with the amount of maintenance cost. $2,500 for a set of brakes, because it's not the same that you'd put on your vehicle for the road. It's pursuit rated and things like that. So we've started to do that. The vehicles don't last as long as they used to. The old Crown Vics, you'd get 250,000 out of them, and they'd have a bad water pump, at 249 or something. Now we replaced a Dodge engine on a truck at 35,000 because the thing completely went bad. We've been replacing valves on top of Chevy motors and a lot of different things like that. So that's the big picture, and I'm always told by Christina here, who guides me through most of this stuff, to bring options and information, right? So that's what today is, or tonight is. That's some of the information that we've been going on, and we need to really, I think, handle it a little bit different. So tonight you're going to hear 2 options that I think that I would like for you to take into consideration. Most of the information is going to come from Sergeant Bowler. One of the things he did in the last couple months was take a position as fleet manager for our agency. Before, it was just the chief deputy would order the cars, and then everybody would work with JTN or whatever to get them where they wanted them, and who was up by had the most miles and things like that. We're actually taking a different approach and maybe managing that a little bit different. I will tell you also, at a big picture, I told the same thing to the commissioners. The patrol vehicle is different than it was 10 years ago, and a whole hell of a lot different than it was 25 years ago. These now have we write our reports sitting in them. We have 4 desks for 16 deputies that work the road at the Putnam County Jail. There are 4 desks that they can sit at and work on those. So they mostly work out of these vehicles. So we put a lot of miles on them at 1,000 calls a month, and we use them a lot more than we used to, even with 24-hour coverage that we didn't always have in Putnam County that we do now, and 4 per shift out running the roads. Greencastle covers all of their hours for law enforcement coverage, but we cover the whole county. Other than that, including cities like Cloverdale, we cover half of their hours where a police officer's present or available. So, like I said, it's a big deal. Our budget requests really haven't jumped with the cost of vehicles or anything else, and that was something we were going to address, of course, in August. But I'll give you two more options tonight, and that is you're going to see a presentation here by the sergeant about a couple of things, which is we believe because we have 24 patrol vehicles that are on the road, we believe that if we replace those every 4 years, we'll need 6 a year, and if we buy them like we are now, I'd really try to get away. He's going to show you some numbers about what we're paying in interest on cars, and I don't know if that's where you want to be, and if that's where you want to be, by all means, but I think there's a better approach to even that. If we continue to buy and possess titles for cars, I think we're going to need more to get them earlier into rotation. Those vehicles that we're spending the $7,000 water pumps, is that what a water pump was on a Ford? Yeah, with all the water pump and timing chain, and then valve replacement on some of these that are just past warranty. We would be able to, somebody like Tom Sutherland and I would drive a car for 6 years. These guys are putting 35 to 38,000 miles on patrolling, would get them every 3 years, right? So, but we would still own them and things like that. So we would still be able to do a couple things. You can sell them and get your money back out of them. Like right now, we've been handing them down to other agencies like fire departments and other smaller departments. They don't last long there. We get rid of them because they start costing a bunch of money, and so I don't know if there's a future in that. I don't know. Like I said, it's a big picture item, and I'm glad everything else went quick tonight for you. Because it really is something that's we're looking at a paradigm shift in the way we do things. We either keep these maintenance costs down by rotating these high mileage vehicles every 3 years for us admin, 6 or 7 or even 8 as far as I care, but we look at it like that, or and that's going to be an increase in the budget to buy those. But we have those titles, we have equity, right? And then, one of the things that's going on in law enforcement right now, and several sheriff's departments and police departments have been using this enterprise rental vehicles or leased vehicles. They can explain more with the spreadsheets, which you guys are all better at than me, but it'll make sense to you. We cleaned it up a little bit when we first started meeting with them. I'm glad it's taken a little while. This is not a knee-jerk reaction. This is months of Sergeant Bowler working with the young man that'll be here tonight and kind of crunching these. A couple different things. The way he was looking at our budget was different. He was kind of including equipment. He thought that was just vehicles. Well, that's the body cameras that this body added to our budget, 30-some thousand a year for body cameras. It's that, and it's our tasers, and everything else goes through equipment too. It's just not vehicles. So we had to clean that up a little bit and really look at so that when you see the enterprise numbers, they're real. And then the other question that came up, because we beat it, there's a common phrase, you keep beating steel, it gets better, and this is one of those things, because we keep flipping this thing over and smashing it and trying to see what we can do. But the responsibilities that the commissioners have agreed to, such as South Putnam SROs and hospitals and Heritage Lake officer, we knew we had some extra vehicles in our reserve program. We got 6 reserves that come in and use cars. We also have paper service that's mandated by the Indiana code that we do. So we have other vehicles, and we went, hey, what about those? Because we're going to need those too. So they found a cheaper vehicle for those, because the Tahoes that you're going to look at tonight, and I'll tell you about those right off the bat. We had one deputy that got run into by a semi just north of town here, and every time we watch that video, and I can show it to you, we almost inevitably say, oh, if that was a smaller car, he would have been dead. What we get out of these Tahoes is they are a police package. They do hold all the equipment that we put with the ERT team and all their gear. It's easier to run canines in than the smaller vehicles that may cost less, and we see them as the A answer for their offices. Like I said, these are their mobile offices. So without further ado, I will let Sergeant Bowler come up and kind of explain. I think I'd like for him to explain the interest that you're paying right now. Where are we at now, and an option. There's a couple options on the table tonight, and he'll be able to explain more of those, and I'll be more than glad to assist.
top one from Enterprise, we can put that to the side for now. Jake will be here. There he is, right there.
It's not Jake from State Farm. You already had this joke.
That's why I remember his name.
It's
is
Jake
because
from
of that.
Enterprise, you're Nazi.
So, when I got started with this, I started contacting a few departments about what they've been doing with their fleet management. And that's how I met Jake and moved forward with that. So, the first page, where it shows vehicle budgets, maintenance budgets, and equipment, I just broke that down from the past five years, 2022 until now. The vehicle budget, so basically that $250,000 gets us 3 vehicles and pays for all of our equipment. Initially, I thought our equipment budget paid for most of our equipment and our vehicles, but that doesn't. It pays about 10% of it, give or take. So most of you haven't been here for a long time like I have, and most of my career dated back to 2002. We've gotten about 3 vehicles about every single year. So the reason why we haven't increased a lot of vehicles over the years, because we've been lucky and have had seizure money off the interstate, and we've had an interdiction team out there that paid for a lot of stuff, been lucky, that's come and gone. So now we're in a position that we're in, so we're kind of in a hole. Our maintenance budget has increased quite a bit the past couple of years, and then our equipment, like I said, pays about 10% of our vehicle equipment. So I did break down, I know a few of you guys have had questions about where we spend all of our money at in our maintenance. I kind of broke it all down, you can see on the first page there. A big portion of it goes to engine repairs, transmissions, water pumps, electrical, things that wouldn't be paid out of our pocket if it was leased. So as of right now, it's out of our pocket. The second page is kind of our current budget. What we have left over is about $112,000. To pay off the remainder of all of our vehicles that we have right now at the bank is about $74,000. That'll leave about $37,000 left over this year. And then you can go down to the past 3 years of what we've been paying for our Chevy Tahoes. The past 3 years we've increased over $10,000. So that amount has increased a lot. And then the next page, well, you can look at yourself. I've got it all broke down with our maintenance, where all of our money goes to. And then the next set of papers is actually, I broke down what all we spend on equipment. That goes from our body cams, tasers, computers, just a lot of stuff that doesn't involve our vehicles. So that budget really isn't for our vehicles. And then we will get to interest. So what I have here is from North Salem State Bank. They kind of put an example of what we would be paying in interest for 7 vehicles in a 3-year loan, and that's almost $50,000 just an interest rate. So they would be paying in 3 years. And then I don't have. There it is. The next page, the budget for the 6 vehicles, we'd be paying around $72,000 per vehicle. So if you times that by 6, we're going to be spending about $430,000 a year for just 6 vehicles. And that does include equipment. That does not include a radio, a radar, which those things we plan to transfer from one vehicle to the next, so we would be saving. We don't have to buy a new radio or a new radar every single time we get a new vehicle. So,
Which is what you've not done in the past, correct?
We've never done that.
That's what I thought.
We've always kept them in the department until they can't be on the road much longer, and we pass them down, like the sheriff said, to other fire departments, and we keep them in our full selection, But those vehicles that kind of pass the warranty, we're paying a buttload on maintenance.
But I mean, the lights and the equipment, that is stuff that you've not switched
Correct.
from vehicle to vehicle.
Yes.
So you're saving money that way.
If we did the leasing program, we would save that way. From, like, if we had a 4-year lease, that lease would be done, we trade that vehicle in, we would take all the equipment out, and it would go into the next new vehicle.
And that does not happen with.
It does
what
not,
you're
it
doing
never
now.
has, no. Because we've never traded
Because-
vehicles in before.
Because they keep the vehicles.
Passing it down.
10 years sometimes.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you think they'll transfer to the next vehicle, okay?
If we did a leasing program, I mean, it depends on, like year 3 or year 4, year 5, like a center console might be changed a little bit, but for the most part, we plan to do slick tops just because Jack will explain this a little bit, the trade-in value is much higher on slick tops where they don't have a light bar, less damage. But majority of the stuff would be transferred over, your radar, your camera, I would say 80% almost every time would be transferred over. And we're spending like 17 grand, and that's without a radar, printer, scanners, and that's not a radio either. So 17,000 was a good average that we come up with, of what we would
The
spend.
last 3 vehicles were 17.
Yes.
They each.
So,
I would lay this one to the side if you would, and then listen to the enterprise one, because they're 2 totally separate options. Does that make sense? I'm telling you what to do, but I would do that and then hear out this enterprise aspect of it.
Good evening. Jake with Enterprise. Been working with the Sheriff's Department here for a couple months, just working through their budget, talking with them about what their kind of goals are, who we work with, just ultimately common goal here of keeping the vehicles safe, keeping them new, and reducing the budget at the same time. On that second page, I just listed a handful of current agencies that we currently work with. That's not all-inclusive, it's just a good starter list. But ultimately, what our goal is, and what I've showed them, is newer vehicles cost less to maintain and operate than older vehicles. I think everybody can agree on that. Couple that with newer vehicles also sell a lot better than 8 to 10-year-old vehicles. When you put both of those together, that's what makes our program go. Is the leasing is a tool to allow you guys to replace more vehicles with the same capital outlay, and then have that impact on positive resale and a lower maintenance cost. To Josh's point, 6 vehicles would run north of $400,000, whereas I'm showing them 11 vehicles next year is going to be just over $100,000, and they're going to have a drastic increase in or drastic decrease in their maintenance. And then also with putting these on a 4-year cycle, they're going to be able to sell them a lot better than an 8 to 10-year-old Tahoe. So ultimately, yes, it's a leasing partnership, but more or less it's a fleet management. Part of our partnership is we'll come out and we'll meet with the Sheriff's Department 2 to 3 times a year to review their maintenance spend, review their resale gains, review the budget for next year, vehicle prices. It's a very hands-on approach to just ensure that we're hitting the budgetary restrictions, but also keeping the fleet new, keeping it safe. These deputies are driving them a lot. Obviously, we want them in a safe vehicle. So if you're looking at basically the 4th page there, that effective vehicle life cycle, this is just a very high-level graphic, just showing, right now they're not getting much of a resale, if any, by passing them down to other departments. And with those larger maintenance repairs, those are what we call non-preventative. Once that vehicle's out of warranty, the pumps, the engine failures, those things can't really be prevented. They're just things that naturally go wrong as that vehicle accrues more mileage, and year over year, things start to wear. Our goal, and this is a little bit of a moving target, is we're looking at model year, but also the mileage and resale. So it's an ongoing, like we may put these vehicles on a 4-year term, and 3 years down the road, we may say, hey, the resale market for police Tahoes is really good right now. We would probably recommend you guys get out of these a little bit early to increase the resale, lower the next lease payment. Vice versa, we may say, hey, these particular deputies didn't drive as much as we were anticipating. Let's extend that lease another year. It's a very ongoing consultative approach to truly define when is that optimal time to replace it. With that, we're tracking the maintenance, we're looking at the resale value. It's a holistic approach of how can we keep that budget where it is, but also keep you in a safe vehicle. The next page just kind of lays out what our leasing model looks like. It's more or less what we're trying to do is improve cash flow. So knowing how good we are at selling vehicles, take this model, for example, we're taking a $42,000 vehicle. If we keep it on a 48-month term, 4-year term, knowing how good we are at reselling vehicles, we're going to leave an unpaid principal on that balance. Then when we go to sell it, we pay that off. The remainder of the equity then comes back to the county. Ideally, what most of our government clients then do is take those proceeds, apply it as a down payment to the next lease to lower that payment or combat inflation and keep that payment the same. To Josh's point, we do have a team that specializes in upfitting and will work with the vendors to confirm compatibility of transferring equipment over. If we do, for instance, decide, hey, this vehicle, we're going to cycle it a little bit early, we're going to confirm that equipment and everything is transferable before we decide to, hey, let's get out of this a little bit early, but then we need to buy all new equipment. So those are things that we're taking into consideration when we identify that a vehicle deems to be replaced. I put together a 5-year projection on what I would recommend to kind of be the game plan for getting these vehicles replaced and on a correct cycle. This year, they currently had 3 vehicles slotted and already built through Kelly. We are going to take those over and go ahead and put them on a lease program. It stays within their budget this year. We can include the equipment in that lease. For 2027, I'm recommending 11 replacements. So that acquisitions column, if you see that 11 there, it just compounds, so then you'd have 14 on lease for next year. The cash down column that you see there, this is where we typically ask for anything that equipment-wise is over $10,000. We ask for 50% of that up front, and more or less that is to keep that vehicle in an equity position. If we know that you're going to transfer that vehicle, that equipment to the next vehicle, it's not going to be worth anything when we resell it. So it's more to pay down that lease balance to increase the resale and the equity that you're going to get on the back end of that. Then you can see your total lease would be 174. We're estimating of those 11 vehicles, that 191 there, that's what we would be able to sell those 11 vehicles for. So essentially offset the lease costs and a little bit of the cash down. With 11 replacements and now 14 new vehicles, we'd estimate your maintenance would drop to about $74,000. That's probably still a little high. If we replace your 14 oldest vehicles, I would expect a little bit more than a 25% decrease, but to be conservative, we're expecting about a 25% decrease. Fuel's fuel. Obviously, I made this when fuel was normal prices, but fuel is just naturally, what I'm showing here is newer vehicles are more economically fuel efficient than older vehicles. So you're naturally going to save a little bit of money there in fuel. So ultimately, compared to a roughly a $400,000 budget for 2027, you would be, or with fuel, a little bit over, you'd be at 327. So comparing that to your current budget, there'd be a savings of just shy of $200,000 this first year. Ultimately, then what we would do is those funds go back to the general fund. You guys recognize that savings. If they go back to the sheriff's department, what we would do then is tell them reinvest that back into the fleet. If you take that 180,000 roughly, and divide it by the 14 vehicles that would then be on lease, that's an extra $12,000 that you could apply to each lease there, lowering your payment and then also increasing your equity position on the back end. From a longevity standpoint, that would make this program a lot more cost effective for the long term. Then you could do it again in 2028 when we were recommending to replace 8 vehicles. You're still within your budget, still under your budget by about $100,000. That $108,000, if you were to apply that to the 8 new vehicles, That's another roughly $12,000 that could be applied to those vehicles as well. Again, lowering your payment on essentially your entire fleet at that point. Ultimately, we're projecting over the next 5 years just under $250,000 of cash flow savings. If you were to reinvest those first 2 years of savings, you would recognize a much larger savings as well. A lot of numbers there. Any general questions?
Anybody have a question? This is my third time hearing this. So.
One thing I always like to point out is
no.
You're better than that.
is Josh made a point on your all's capital budget continuing to increase and vehicle prices continuing to increase. We're enterprise, but I can't make GM offer us the same price 10 years down the road. But what I'll tell you with that is as new vehicle prices increase, so do used vehicle prices increase. A 4-year-old Tahoe down the road is going to sell much better than a 4-year-old Tahoe today. So with inflation, they typically go hand in hand, 1-to-1 down the road. So yes, vehicle prices down the road will probably be more expensive, but we'll also sell your vehicles for more than we're probably projecting today.
And correct me if I'm wrong, please, Jake, but with this, these are the recommendations. So if there is a financial, since we don't know what's coming down the road, these numbers, what they turn in, what they don't, what they get, these can be adjusted as they move forward with this process.
100%.
Also.
100%. And it may even change on our end too.
Right.
With our recommendations, I've got 8 slotted right now. We may tell you, hey, a couple of these vehicles didn't drive as much. Maybe we only need to do 5 in 2028, or vice versa. Hey, the resale market's great. I think you guys should take advantage of a couple more replacements this year. But yeah, ultimately, part of our annual meetings is, hey, what's your budget looking like this year? A lot of changes coming in that forefront. How can we stick within that budget and make the budget dictate the fleet? So yes, ultimately, this is not you're signing up for everything today, this is how it's going to be. It's a consultative approach, 100%.
And then I know when we talk with attorneys too, they always want an out. And I'm curious, we talk about how good this is, but in 2030, at the end of this sheet, and we want out. What's an exit look like for a sheriff's office with 33 vehicles working with Enterprise?
100%.
What's that exit look like?
Yep. There's a couple ways that you could do it. Ultimately, we're going to come to you and recommend, or just have a conversation on why are you wanting it out? Is it something that you don't understand with the program? Is it just, hey, maybe you've got a new sheriff and he's completely against leasing? Whatever the case is, that could be too. Maybe he just has something against me. But ultimately, what we'll do is there's a couple ways. Either you can just run the leases out, and when they're completely paid off, don't replace anything through us. You can quit having meetings with us. You just pay off your leases and continue writing it out. That's typically the easiest way to do it. We can also just wholesale your vehicles. If you're in an equity position, just sell them, give you all the proceeds back. You guys then get a new fleet, however you want to do it that way. Or you can essentially just cut us a check for what the vehicle is worth on the books, and then we give you the title. So there's a couple different ways. I'll tell you, the longer you're on the program, the more financially impact it has, and the more you guys buy into what we're actually doing and replacing at the right time. The counties and the municipalities that see the impact in the larger picture, other than just the lease number, like if you get to 2030, yeah, if a new sheriff comes in and they see, hey, we're paying Enterprise $400,000 in lease payments, but they don't know where we started in maintenance costs, and you're not getting anything in resale, that is something that 100% happens. But then we just come out and we say, hey, this is where we started, this is where we're at today, your budget's the exact same, and now we took vehicles that were getting replaced on average every 12 years, now you're getting vehicles every 4 years. So yeah, I mean, ultimately we'll try to have a conversation, show you the numbers and why it doesn't make sense to own and pay cash for vehicles today, especially being a municipality. But ultimately, we're not going to hold you hostage either.
Right. I got a question. So, how we've been doing it, commissioners own the vehicles, you know?
Correct.
They are acting as the bank, basically, right? Enterprise is, and they hold the titles. So, how does that work? So, are the commissioners not involved with vehicles if we do leasing program?
Well, since I've been to some of these meetings, my recollection is the commissioners have already signed the contract with Enterprise to move forward. This is an informational, but there was a discussion made with the attorney, Mr. Inslee, at the same time of the way out. So the commissioners I wouldn't think they would hold that title since you're just leasing that vehicle.
You always hold the title.
We'll hold titles.
Correct.
It's very similar, like now, when you're financing through your bank, they're holding the title until it's paid off. Since you all don't really have tax implications, you can still treat it as an asset on your books. It doesn't. You guys don't get any tax benefits to it, but it can still be a county asset.
Right, because that's how everything's set up, because our highway department already has Enterprise for their vehicles over there, for some of their fleets.
Yep. So ultimately, we'll hold title, and the reason we hold title is one, obviously, there's a book value to it, and we've paid cash for that vehicle. But two, we just can help you guys manage the vehicle a lot more with the title, recall notifications. And then when we go to sell it, we can sell it to private dealerships and wholesale dealers, much differently than if you guys hold title. There's only a couple avenues that we can adventure down.
Is there anything that's not covered under warranty? Like if the sheriff wants to go out and race for a weekend?
Easy.
I would probably.
You didn't see the Corvette.
So the warranty is not through us. We pass through whatever manufacturer warranty is offered. That's what so the warranty in retrospect would not change at all. So the same warranty you're getting today is the same warranty you'd have on leased vehicles.
And the vehicles that you're looking at continuing to go with are vehicles that can be maintenance here locally and not have to be like shipped out here, or, this, that, and the other.
They come and pick it up or something.
Right, and Mr. Deputy Buller here has discussed, you can talk about your agreements with the local people.
So that's a Jake. I think they have 3.
There are 3 shops here locally that we already have approved vendor. Essentially what that means is there's an Enterprise in the York dealership.
Right.
I don't know if you guys knew that. There's an Enterprise rent-a-car there. There's an Enterprise rent-a-car that typically means there's at least one approved vendor in the area. From dealerships to typical service centers, what that means is they're familiar with how we track and have oversight on maintenance. So now for like our maintenance programs, if it's outside of warranty, preventative maintenance, anything like that, they can take it over to York. York has to call us for any major repair, and we have to essentially approve it and give our oversight on what's being done to that. If it's a large repair and we deem it is repairable and it needs repaired, say it's over $1,000, just throw a number out there, we would then call Josh and say, hey, do you want us to approve this? If we do, here's the resale value and what it does to the resale value of this vehicle. If we don't repair it and sell it as is, here's what the resale value is. We'll give our recommendation, but ultimately you guys still have full autonomy on what gets repaired, when we sell vehicles, when we buy vehicles, the whole 9 yards. We're here, yes, it's fleet management, but it's more consultative fleet management.
I think the goal would be to move them before the warranty runs out. So that's your plan. You want to rent the problem or you want to buy the problem? Because we have in big terms. I will tell you too, I reached out to a very good friend of mine who does Josh's job at Lebanon Police Department. And then locally they have Enterprise too, out to Highway Garage. And both of them said a lot of this teeters afterwards, you sign on and everything with your service writer or your manager or whatever. Jake's out of it, moving on to the next agency to buy in. But as long as you have a good person there, it's fantastic. If you have a bad person there, it's horrible.
Right.
And Jake has promised, because I know where he lives, make sure we get the #1 fleet manager for our program. But that's an honest conversation, and that's on one. And like I said, there's chain email going around now through all the sheriffs that we have, periodically throughout the week. And it's like, who has this? And there was not a negative thing in there. Some of them decided to keep buying cars and buy more, and then others said, yep, we're on board 100%, have no problems.
And I know the meetings commissioners meetings that I attend at other counties that they have, this, and I've not heard anything negative. They've continued to grow their fleets with Enterprise also.
It's not Bill and Ted's excellent rental fleet management. I really do believe that. I appreciate you hearing them out and being a big part of it, because it is a big part of it. It's a big part of what we do. It's every day. Everyone go by all the
If you guys want some hard numbers to kind of validate the program, if you flip to the next page on just the highway, this is what I proposed to the highway. Currently, they're spending about $82,000 on 6 leases. They've got 4 vehicles that I deemed could be eligible for an early cycle. Purchase price this year and the incentives are strong on the new vehicles. And if you couple that with their equity position on their current trucks, it would effectively, and they wanted to potentially right type a couple of vehicles. They've got 3/4 tons for most of their fleet. They deem they don't technically need 3/4 tons for everything. But with this proposal, if they changed 2 vehicles to a 1/2 ton and 1 vehicle to a Colorado.
That's not happening.
Okay. just not happening, but just an idea out there. Essentially, even if they were to keep the vehicles the exact same, their lease payments would drop about $300 a month. So that's the program working there.
Do we have thoughts, questions, comments? Like I said, the commissioners have already signed the contract for this. The sheriff's department is going above and beyond to come to us to explain and keep both boards on board with what everybody's doing in their departments, trying to
The biggest thing is, not to surprise you.
Yeah, I appreciate it greatly.
The first 2 years we're on current budget?
Yes, and even years 3 and 4, if you were to not reinvest the savings from the first 2 years, it's a $20,000 increase is what we're projecting. So
Yeah.
if you were to reinvest that, all 5 years would be under.
The current thing that I absorbed, you were all part of it before, and you've seen it, all this stuff come and go. But it's not something I want to go, oh yeah, by the way, I did this. I'm not into that with this kind of money. It's something that's important is the vehicles. So
It is.
I just want it to be in front of everybody in the aspect of budget-wise. And I think you have 2 things. At the end of it, ask you to lay that one aside. That sounds like a defense attorney. Listen, you have 2 things. You got this is where you probably could go. You can go this way and buy and own all the problems. Current thing, what we're doing is not going to work. Or you go with the enterprise, and this is what the numbers look like from him for that. And I think that Josh could speak to it more than me, but the merit deputies don't care. They just want to make sure they're not without their car, that they've put 100, started with 100, now I have 120,000, and it's down for a month or 2 to get fixed. When we could have had a better fleet management system than that, because it's outside its warranty, and we're just dropping a coin on new valves and stuff on some of these cars just to put out for another 1.5 years. And so that's my take on the whole thing.
If you want my opinion,
We used Enterprise when we was on the task force, and they were great. I don't have a problem with using Enterprise at all, period. Saved us a lot of money on our budget.
Do I need?
I think this here works better for the sheriff's department than it does for the county highway.
Agreed.
I mean, county highway don't put enough miles on the trucks to.
If you could include the dump trucks,
Right.
that would work.
We can, much different conversation
Right.
than a normal light duty or a sheriff's fleet for sure though.
Yeah.
What do you need from us to move forward, or vice versa, Christie?
I mean,
Usually here, answer that for us.
the commissioners sign all the contracts. This is just budget, this is just information, FYI. This is what we're doing. We want to keep you guys in the loop, like you said, a heads up. And then you'll just have to remind us, keep us updated as how things are moving forward. And then when we see the vehicle increase in the budget line item, you're gonna have to remind us, hey, remember, we saved this,
Yeah.
so this is increasing for that part because of these. Otherwise.
Do you need anything from the county council? Do you need any papers signed by them?
Nope, I think so.
Yeah,
That's the
why-
auditor and treasurer.
Yeah, that's why you're here, yeah.
Is there any more concerns, questions that you have? He's great at answering questions. I've seen him do a lot.
This wouldn't include,
Go ahead.
this wouldn't include every vehicle in your, like.
So the new update does, right?
This-
Well, not jail side, not jail side. So that's an interesting thing. Thanks for bringing that up. I think we'll address that in the budget also for next year, the jail side aspect of it. Like, before I got here, the last transport van was bought out of commissary, which is not unusual. We bought that, crisis intervention specialist, a civilian vehicle out of commissary. But that's not forever deep, right? That's not
Right.
a bottomless pit. But we probably will entertain, and the sergeant and I have been talking about it, having a budget for, there's no current budget for vehicles in the jail. That's crazy, right? Because they should kind of be separate, because inevitably, that transport van, which is where you get lawsuits from, the first one that falls out of water gets cut on, that probably should be a budgetary item, that just, so we can plan on buying a new one. That's the kind of thing we borrow onesies and twosies instead of a whole fleet. That's a horrible idea, in my opinion, paying that interest on a whole fleet.
Our current jail van has over 200,000 miles on it.
Yeah, we don't want it breaking down, then who knows what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're expensive, so.
This is off topic, it is, but it isn't. So, I know you said the commissary, you paid for stuff out of there. I am one of the old people here, so I remember all the money that came in off of the seizure, the asset forfeiture. How come we
Yeah.
don't do that anymore?
So there's a couple things that are different. One is you know how you don't see it on the news?
Well, I've seen several in Putnam County lately.
How much money?
Oh, I don't know, millions.
Well, we don't sell the drugs,
Well, yeah.
so they quit getting money. Someone tell you something about called Bitcoin.
Yes.
You ever hear stuff like
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Well, guess what most of the Bitcoin is being used for?
Okay.
So here's what, next time you see a big seizure of
Mhm.
a bunch of money on the news, see where it's at.
Okay.
They're few and far between. The seizures in Putnam County, I don't think any of the ones in the last 2 or 3 years have been money. They've all been
A lot of drugs.
A lot of drugs, yeah.
It's all drugs.
Okay.
And so, there is, you don't see it on the road anymore. So ISP is always working, Putnam County from 31 to 51.
Oh, yeah.
And they're not hitting money. Nobody gets
Gotcha.
money anymore.
Just picking the drugs.
And you can't sell drugs. We like to, but you can't. I was kidding.
All right.
So we were hitting money and nobody hits money anymore. Money was going westbound and drugs were going eastbound.
Yeah.
It was just it was a clinical, up there, a clinician of people up there pulling over vehicles.
Right.
And that is no longer.
Gotcha.
We don't have a current program, other than our canines. So we have been getting some forfeiture money, that comes to the department. We have 3 canines that are consistently used up on the interstate, and every time we use them, we get some money from them.
Gotcha.
Because the current state police officer who's working up there does not have a canine. So we have been backing him up with a lot of different things.
Okay.
And so that's why you don't see a lot of it anymore.
Okay.
And I don't have a program, and I have no intuition to do a seizure program on the interstate.
Gotcha.
One of the stories I always tell, and I'll tell it here, which is during the 18-month campaign for sheriff, nobody asked for more people to be on the interstate, but a whole lot of people asked for a deputy to go by their house more often.
Absolutely.
And so that's why our deputies are out patrolling
Mhm.
with canines, and then if we need to go up there, we'll go up there.
Gotcha.
And they purposely find our county because our prosecutors are very good at filing those charges, and our judges. So they work our county quite a bit, and they're not hitting money.
Okay. No, it's piles of drugs that
It
I've
is,
seen.
all the
so-
all the drugs you can handle.
Okay.
So-
No, I was just curious. I just remember when all that was
Honest
being.
question, honest answer.
Yeah, I just remember a lot of money came in, a lot of things for different variety.
So they
things
used to
were
have
spent.
what they call money launderers.
Mhm.
Have you ever seen anybody arrested for money laundering lately?
Not really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same
Okay.
thing, because they don't,
They burn them all out.
all they gotta do is put it in Bitcoin and it's gonna,
Gotcha.
so.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to go off topic.
No, it's a good topic. I mean, it's an honest conversation. I love those conversations about how this whole job's changing.
It has.
Let alone let's talk about the jail. I mean, let's talk about the inmates, you know, I mean, it's a lot different than it used to be. And I think that's one of them, is it's not out there.
Yeah. Nope. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Anything else? You good?
The groups that you were passing your cars down to, the old cars, will they need to start buying cars, or what will they need?
Yeah, I would recommend it, period. The last car we gave to somebody didn't last very long, and I know the one set at dispatch, how long did the one set dispatch in the corner without being moved before you got to the board? Didn't they have an old Sheriff's Explorer that sat there for several years or whatever?
There's the EMA vehicles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is one of the older Tahoe. EMS just gave one back.
Yeah, we gave one to EMS, and then they gave one back because we need it for other things. But this process, we've added those in there.
Okay.
And there'll be cheaper vehicles, and they'll have a lot less miles because they don't have any off-duty use. Like the school resource officer, they don't have any off-duty use like that. Okay. So they just go back and forth to the school, and that's the way we maintain those. And we've asked him to do it, and he did it. He just threw it in and looks at it as a cost savings kind of thing. And I don't think there's a future in it, because by the time we get rid of them now, they mostly have to go on a rollback. Or they're sitting already at an auto place, and we're not gonna spend the money to put them back on the road. So I don't think there's a future in that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no
for
problem.
coming
Thank
and
you.
answering all of our questions
Yep.
and informing us. Thank you, department guys. Thank you for all your work. Along with the Sheriff's Department, we do have a county general additional. They overpaid a loan, needing to appropriate the money back into the account for $201 for their vehicles. Do you have any questions? Do I have a motion for approval? Danny made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Wayne second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. And then we have the sheriff lit fund. That's appropriating the rest of the money needed since we approved the second full-time position for the courthouse security department. The salaries were prorated since we did not start employees until May of 2026. These are transfers, not additional. So you're transferring $28,800 from part-time to full-time, $6,738 from vehicle to equipment, and $2,300 from vehicle to a full-time salary position. Do we have any questions or concerns? Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Jay made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Carrie second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, I think that is the rest of our stuff. Do we have any board updates that anybody would like to talk about? You guys? Anything, Andy, that you would like to? Yeah, I figured. Rick's not here, so you're taking over for him? You can let her, yes.
Anyway, if you guys want to know, we're sticking with Epic on the health insurance, right? And the fees, there's no change. It'll be the same price as it was last year. No difference to any employee or to the bill to the county for the insurance, for the health insurance. We had a good year, I guess, is what I was told. Is that correct?
Yes, we did.
So that'll be a plus. And then the other thing I wanted to bring up, since Rick wasn't here, you want to report on this, Carrie? On Thrive,
Correct.
on the grant.
I missed last week.
Oh. Well, anyway, with the Thrive program that Putnam County is involved in, there is a grant out there which we went for yesterday. It's a $500,000 grant, and what that money can be used for is people that need help to like put a roof on their house or air conditioning or just anything. But the people, Thrive runs it, but we will receive $500,000, but it will cost the county some money to get this grant, which will be about $72,000. And Rick, he didn't jump the gun, but anyway, since we will have edit money next year, we're going to use the $72,000 of the edit money to put towards this. So people that can't afford to put new roofs on their house or stuff, or I'm going to screw this up, ADE.
The HVAC and
Yeah.
stuff like that, yes.
Yeah, and for ramps and stuff like that, people will
there'll be applications, they'll have to apply. Thrive runs everything. We don't, the county's not involved, but, you know, so.
Demographics for aging,
Huh?
is it for aging?
Yeah, and, or two, the people's gotta fill out the applications if they qualify to get the money.
Which are more of the HUD type situations.
And with that money, they said we'll be able to do anywhere from 25 to maybe 30 homes or help 30 people out or whatever, so anyway. And then also, yesterday we approved, which will be coming to you guys next month, will be for the Huffman Covered Bridge down south of Reelsville to rehabilitate that. The design work's around 80,000, 83,000, I think that's what it was. And then the bridge cost will be 400 and about 60,000, which will be totally, they'll revamp it, and it'll raise the weight limit from what it was before at 4 ton to 12 to 15 ton. So anyway. And then also next month will be our council members bridge down there by him, that one, so.
we'll have
Now,
both
Jay, you're not
of
getting a new bridge, you still can't drive a tractor through it, I'm sorry, but you'll be able to drive it, so, anyway. But that's all I got. I don't think I left anything out.
No, I think that's major things. Thank you. Is there anything else? Do I have a motion for adjournment? Dave made the motion, do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Wayne second. All